Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Where do men go for straight talk about their health?
Colonics are so relaxing, even sensual.
From Jeremy St. Ives, in a place no women are allowed.
That's right.
The Men's Room with Baz and Jeremy, only on Weasel.
Shut up and sit down.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Third Shift. This is episode 498. I, of course, am your host, your funky leader, the greatest man who's ever lived. It's me, it's Matt, and I'm pumped for the show, but not pumped for the show because, with me, as always, it's the light bearer, the light bringer, the light bearer, bringer, the beast, master of Third Shift. It's Eric, but he might not be with us for very long. Tell us why and whatever else you want to tell us, Mr. Eric.
It's been a week, everybody. Let me tell you, spring has come, and it's been raining just nonstop, days of rain here. I told you a week or two ago when my sister visited, it rained a whole bunch, ended up getting some flooding. That was a whole weekend of just travesty and stupidness. And now it's back tenfold because we never even dried out from the last time, and it just did all that again for 2 days straight. So I've got rivers running through the basement right now. Literally, as we speak, I can watch it bubble up and just stream across the floors and whatnot. So I've been trying to battle that since yesterday. I stayed up way late trying to keep, the water plugged and keep things under control. And then ended up working, of course, all day yesterday, worked all day today, and now we're doing the same thing tonight. So, with that being said, I'm exhausted, and I have another night of shenanigans to go with it, and another day of work tomorrow. So it's gonna be a time. So that's why I'm kind of hoping it's a short and sweet one here. If Matt wants to keep going on, that's awesome. But let me tell you, besides that, the week has been just fine, and I'll tell you why. Not because anything special really in the real world's happening, but because I did it, man. I went and played this game called Cyberpunk 2077, and I played the DLC. And it was just, it was what I needed. It was the game that was ready. It was waiting for me. It took me in its embrace, and it said, "Welcome home, buddy. Come on, buddy." And I played it, and I got so invested in it. I'm just loving the characters, loved everything about what's going on. Finally getting like side quests that are just mostly related to the DLC. So it was like all jiving and feeling right and feeling what's good. And then the other night I got to the last portion, and I didn't want it to end. So I chose one path, the path that I wasn't going to choose for this, just to see where it'd go. Played it for about 15 minutes. And it went pretty insane. And I was like, man, that's cool. I really like this character, but yeah, this wasn't what I was going to do. So I shut off because I was like, I don't want it to end tonight. This isn't the right moment for it. So I didn't quite finish it, but I am in the last shtick, the big decision that you got to make, and then the big final battles and outcome of whatever path you went down and chose. And then I got to say, just awesome. It was great to step back into the Night City. And of course, with the PS5 Pro, I put on all the uppers and whatnot that it allowed me to do, all the extra bonuses. And it just looks absolutely gorgeous. Just going around town, listening to my K-pop and just riding my motorcycle, jumping off. Oh, here's some baddies. I'll just jack these fools. And guess what? I'm just as powerful as I was before. I'm flying around, just swords, just striking people down, no problem. However, I will say in the Dogtown area, baddies in there, they hit like trucks. So I'm still not immune, but as long as I get to jump, nobody's touching me. But if too many of the big goons get around you, oh yeah, you'll see your HP just chonking off real quick. So you got to be able to mitigate that either with your your little stims, or with me, I got a lot of, if I crit, I get like health back kind of things going on, and so I just got to keep attacking, which keeps me alive, and or just stim pack and run away and then come back and do it all over. It doesn't matter. Fun time, loving the game, glad I did it. Just as it always does, it proved that the games are fine. It's just you weren't in the mood at the moment for whatever that one was or whatever this one was. That little piece was the one you needed, so it's good to get that. And of course, I did also play a little bit of Resident Evil Requiem. I got out of another little jammy whammy zone, got into a really cool Leon scene, got back into another jammy whammy zone, and I almost finished it, but then I don't know why. I think I shut up. Maybe I was just getting late. I don't remember. But it was not horrendously difficult or stressful. It's just another little, hey, well, there's one more time, kind of deals. So still loving that game. Like I said, every time with Leon, it's just a blast. You're just kicking ass, taking names, doing crazy boss fights. It's over the top. And so I really enjoy those parts. And yeah, that's been about it, man. That's my week.
I had a pretty busy week, but I'll keep them relatively short. First up on the weekend, took Mom out to the Wharton Center. We saw the full name of it is Clue Live on Stage. So if you've ever seen the movie Clue, it's exactly that on stage with the ending shenanigans and everything. Spoiler alert, I won't say what they are if you don't know, but the shenanigans with the ending, it's all there. And it was great. It was just a lot of fun. I remember watching the movie like in 2000 something randomly on some weird movie channel, and I was like, what's this? I've never heard of this before. So I know it's like a bigger thing that I know. Like people grew up with this movie and it's, The Princess Bride to them, or like the Bill and Ted movies for me. I've never been that attached to the Clue movie. I liked it and I still like it. And so seeing it live on stage, it was pretty cool, but it wasn't like, the life-changing thing that it would be for some people. But really well done. Lots of good performances. Oh, really cool set design too. That's the other thing I'll say is when they go to different rooms and the way they do that on the stage show, really cool. I won't spoil it, but it's really cool. It's not just, things come down from the ceiling, though that does happen. There's some different avenues on the sides. That's all I'll say. Then later that night, AEW had their Dynasty pay-per-view. What do I always say? I kind of went into it. I don't know if I'm going to even watch it or like it. And then it was just amazing. Just amazing all the way through from what I remember, because the day before, for some reason, I couldn't sleep. So I slept through like parts of it. Like what happened in that match? I don't know. I know I woke up and somebody won though. That's, But overall, I only missed like chunks of the middle of the show. So I saw the amazing opening, the great endings. So it was a fantastic pay-per-view. And then just last night, they had a follow-up from it. And if you haven't seen it, too bad, it's a spoiler. Darby Allin winning the AEW title. Phenomenal. Like in his hometown, essentially, he was like right around where he grew up, where he was training to be a wrestler and all that stuff. Crowd went absolutely nuts for it. Great moment. And AEW is so good for those great moments. Usually in other companies, you go to somebody's hometown and they always lose and they get humiliated. And I don't know why that was a thing, but that was a thing for X number of years. AEW did it right last night. Awesome. Awesome moment. On Tuesday this week, went back out to the Wharton Center, saw Circa Humans 2.0, which was kind of like a Cirque show mixed with like tumbling and people climbing on each other, which sounds weird, but like a lot of human tower stuff. If you've seen a Cirque show, like the balance and the things where you get like 4 or 5 people kind of hanging and doing stuff. And that's what this was, set to some really cool music. There wasn't really like a story to it that I know. What do I know? I'm a dumb idiot, but it was really cool. Like I always say with any kind of Cirque or acrobatics type of show, seeing athletic, talented people doing this crazy crap right in front of you, and then imagining in my head, like imagine you were like really good at something and your job was to go around with a whole troop of those people doing that thing you're all amazing at and making everybody clap and cheer and go, wow, amazing. So it was really cool. It was unique and it was fun and it was awesome. On the video game front, got in a stream of Ghost of Yotei, and it's pretty good. We did the Kitsune, so that part's done. I think I have 3 people left, the 2 brothers and then the Lord at the end of it, unless there's more stuff happening. So hopefully that's going to not like get wrapped up, but start getting close to being done, because there's other games that I do want to play on stream. And I don't know, like different vibes of games that I want to play. But I love Ghost of Yotei because it's just so awesome to do nothing in a 6-hour stream because there's so much stuff to do. Also played a bunch of Ease 10 Proud Nordics, making big headway into there. I'm not like at the end game, and I don't think I'm real near the end game, but I think I'm at that last bit of side quests before the end game sequence starts rolling. Like I know a couple boss fights that I haven't seen yet. We've grabbed the person and she's with us and we're going to the place where the other guy is. So if you haven't played that game, it's amazing, but no spoilers. And then the last thing I did was last night, played a game that is in the Game Pass and it's my release this week. And I don't know if we're going to get to it. So I'll just say I played Replaced, and just like you said with finding a game and it just hit right, Replaced hit right last night in a different way than I thought it would, which I'll get to in the release if we get through it. But I enjoyed it. It was really cool. It's different than it looks like it would be, but it's still really good. And that was my week.
Outstanding. Yeah, I saw someone streaming Replaced and went, it's finally here. It's a real thing. This is insane. I want to play it, but I have to restrain myself for right now. But of course, there's another game I did buy already. I bought it months ago, and that is my release. It's Pragmata or Pragmata. I can't remember which way it's pronounced. Pragmata?
I think it's pragmata, but
Pragmata? I don't know. Whatever way they want to announce it.
I'm sure everybody on the podcast is going to say pragmata, like near automata. Anyway.
Pragmata. So, anywho's, it's out right now, and you can play it. It's, of course, developed by Capcom, and Capcom's been hitting them left and right, so you know damn well and can trust that this one's probably going to be pretty dang good, too. And the reviews have hit, and it is pretty good. People are liking it. Some folks are saying it's not super deep, that you're not going to get that relationship kind of thing that you were hoping for with Hugh and Diana, because if you don't know, this game, you are Hugh. You come from the planet Earth, and something went wrong up on the moon, and you get sent to go check it out. So you fly to the moon. You land, and oh my gosh, the AI has just gone off the walls wonkers. Everything's in chaos. The robots are attacking you. And then in comes this little child named Diana. And she is an android, of course, made by these supercomputer systems on this moon here that can make anything with 3D printers. That's how they got the food. That's how they got all the robots. It's everything. Everything's made with these 3D printers, and they've got these different biomes they've created. It's a beautiful, wonderful thing. And you have to survive. And Diana's like, I'll help you. And you're like, well, I'll take any help I can get. Because if you didn't know as well, the combat mechanics are insanely cool in this game. And they just go in a different direction. Diana will jump on your back. And then these AI robots that are just impenetrable beasts of creatures. They're coming at you. And Diana goes, don't worry about it. And she, whoop, 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 hacking system comes up. Now, while you're still controlling Hugh, you've got to maneuver around while you hack the systems of these AI robots and open up their weak points. And then Hugh can go ahead and use his guns, many different kinds of guns too, mind you, to then pow, 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 finish off the AI. And when they open up, you can just hit them there. And of course, that'll do damage. But they also have little, the little classic video game bright spot. And if you hit the weak points, you'll get the critical damage. And then you can even get like cool finishers to finish them off. All sorts of shenanigans when it comes to the combat system. I love the demo. If you haven't played it, the demo's out for it. And that the combat was phenomenal. You heard me talk about it already before. But with that being said, everyone says that that's fantastic and fun. And most agree that every time you start to get kind of like, okay, this part's getting a little old, they introduce a new like weakness that you can unlock when you're doing the hacking system. Because if you didn't know, there's all sorts of nodes, and you got to get past all the nodes and make it through to the right node. But while you're going, if you hit these different nodes that appear, you can open up extra weaknesses and or stuns or whatever to the AI robots. They introduce more of those and different kinds of those, and they also expand upon the hacking system as the game progresses. I don't know exactly sure how, because I didn't want to spoil everything for myself, but I heard that every time you think, okay, something new's added. So there's always something cool and neat, and the bosses always usually introduce apparently something cool and neat or some unique mechanic about the hacking and or system that you got to, wrap around your brain while you're avoiding it and trying to get away from it and doing that. So combat, awesome. Music-wise, nobody really mentioned the music, so I guess it's suitable, but nothing to write home about. Graphics-wise, though, PS5 Pro, that's where I wanted to hear about. Gorgeous. Just absolutely phenomenal, absolutely gorgeous. They said the different biomes everyone was shocked. They thought it was mostly going to be inside of, these facilities and whatnot, which there's a lot of that, but there's also just these beautiful, African savanna type things, or I'm just, making up stuff. Once again, I didn't want to spoil everything, so I was very, when I was listening to stuff, but it's shocking how different some of the environments actually are from what you probably expected to see. So I was very happy to hear that, along with the graphics being absolutely wonderful. Frame rates, everything, nobody complained about it. So, and I'm not a big guy on who cares, but whatever. I'm glad that everything seemed solid and everything seemed well paced. And with that, puzzles. Oh, yes, that's it. The game's pretty linear. You can beat it in about 10, 12 hours, which for some people that might be a turnoff. So I just wanted to make sure I give you a heads up. But for some people like me, that sounds absolutely phenomenal. I know where the path's going to be. All I got to do is follow it and get through the level. But worry not, because just like I told you from the demo, and it was confirmed in all the reviews I listened to, there are tons of secrets, tons of little side paths and side jumps you can take to get all sorts of really cool upgrades that you could totally miss. You don't have to get. And there's little secrets, and the cameo things from a certain blue bomber. You know, there's little fun tidbits in there. So a lot of things to do, a lot of things to find. And some reviewers even said, even though the story isn't like super deep and it's a little goofy sometimes, that Diana is in herself as a cute, character in the game, and it's fun to get her the different Earth items that she then will take and play with and or interact with you on. That no matter what, those are at least fun. So I'm on board. This sounds like a great game. I can't wait to actually touch it. Which, like I said, I already purchased it, and it's available to play tomorrow, I think, or maybe it was today. I don't remember. Either way, today or tomorrow. I got it right here. You can look at your screen. April 17th, it's right there. That's tomorrow. That's Friday. So tomorrow, you'll all be able to play it. Go get yourself some Pragmata, or at least go check out the demo, because it's looking to be a damn fine game.
It's pretty weird they got the blue bomber as like a cameo item. That's Sonic the Hedgehog, isn't it? He's the blue bomber.
Yes,
right?
Sonic is the blue bomber.
Wow, that's weird. You're
right.
That's
I'm
crazy.
Glad you knew that.
But like you said, you watched some reviews but didn't want to get too spoiled on a game for your release. I did the same thing with Replaced. 2 days ago, I watched 2 reviews, one from Day One and one from Gaming Dad Legends, and neither one of them spoiled much of anything. So I would say if you want some spoiler-free reviews, go check them out. But I'm talking about Replaced, which came out on the 14th, developed by Sad Cat Studios, published by Thunderful Publishing, for PC and the Xbox Series consoles only. And this game is the game we've been waiting for a long-ass time. That's that game you've seen so many trailers for, where it looks like 2D, side-scrolling, kind of action, platforming, and like the lights and the colors are just popping, and the shadows and the lighting and everything. This looks like The Last Night. This is what came along when The Last Night was delayed forever, and we went, this is here, and then it got delayed forever, but it's here finally. And in Replaced, I will give you the inciting incident and like the overall setting, but I won't tell you any other story bits. It takes place in an alternate 1980s future where there's been some kind of nuclear disaster, and the U.S. is in a really weird spot. And from what I can tell, I don't even really know what happened. You live inside this giant walled city, and outside the walls are the people. And from what everybody knows, what everybody hears, everybody outside the walls is doing great, and everything's awesome, and everything's cool. But inside the walls, it's even cooler and better. And you start the game as this AI that's working with this dude to, I don't know if I should even say, yeah, I should say what you're doing. You're an AI, and your job is to match up people inside the wall who need organ transplants with people outside the wall who can supply them. That's what I'll say you are the AI of. And your maker, your creator dude, he's jacked into the Matrix, he's working on the system. There's a weird explosion, and then you wake up in his body. You're the AI in his body, and stuff is crazy. Cops are running around shooting people. You run, you flee outside the wall, and that's where you find out outside the wall, it ain't so good. It's weird and it's bad out there too. But like I said, I played a couple hours of it last night, and one of the things that they said in both of those reviews, and I can echo right here, is it's not a fast-paced action game, which is what the trailers kind of look like. There's lots of combat and beating people up and stuff. That is in the game, but it, at least for now, for the intro part, feels kind of more like an adventure game. Like you do have this inciting incident and you run from the cops, and it's like there's a whole running away sequence, and it is action-packed, but it's not like a brawler, like a fast-paced action-y type of a game. If anything, it feels more like Flashback. You remember that from the Super Nintendo, that kind of rotoscoped kind of action, like Prince of Persia type of a feel, where there's a segment where you're running away and you got to jump over these logs. But since it has that weird feel to it, you got to preload your jump, kind of. I don't know, it feels kind of weird. But I like the setting. I like the world building. I love the graphics. The graphics are so good. And one of the things I love about it is all the characters are 2D sprites. There's a lot of 2D elements. The lighting is popping. The shadows are popping. But so many things in the background are 3D. And because the environment in the background is 3D, it allows, even in that inciting incident area, a lot of weird camera moves. Like the camera can duck in and dive out. And like when you go through a door, the camera kind of lingers on one side and then does like a swoop around to the other side of the wall. So even though you just walked from one scene to another through a door in a 2D plane, it feels different. It feels more alive. And like I said, especially in that first action set piece, the camera's like moving all around in ways you wouldn't think of when you see sprite graphics just hanging out there. Kind of made me think of my playthrough of Xenogears, where I have these different camera angles and cuts, and the camera's like pushing down the hallway, chasing a character. It has that same kind of a feel. So far, the music's pretty good. I got to like the first big town. I don't know if this is the only town or whatever. And the musical theme in there, combined with the atmosphere of the town itself, it fit perfectly. The music was so depressing in this weird, depressing, just everything is rotten here type of a town. Like people are trying, and, this is the safest place around. But it is what you would expect from this type of story, this type of scenario. But it just fit. It fit really well. When I did get to the combat, it's basically Batman Arkham Asylum combat. It's a little bit more stiff, but it still works just as well. A lot of fun. When you do an attack and the guy's like a little too far away from your regular melee, you do like a jumpy spin kick. It just feels good. It feels awesome. So I'm liking that. And the animation in this is so good. Like even for these relatively simple pixely 2D characters, when you meet somebody and you see how they move, you can tell what that person is just by the way they animate. I was blown away. Every time I met somebody new, they felt completely different because of how they moved, even just as a 2D sprite, like a not even very detailed 2D sprite. Amazing and cool. My only issue with it so far, they said it in the reviews like, oh man, we wish the dialogue was voiced. And I do agree. It's kind of weird because everything's not voiced, but most of the dialogue also auto scrolls. So it feels like there should be a voice line in there to fit that tempo. And then when the line's done, we roll over. The only thing I would say is this is a very like Russian or Eastern European game. So some of the grammar isn't quite right, like in the data logs and stuff you get. Obviously, I know that because I'm a nerd. But other than that, that's the only thing that maybe takes me out of it just a little bit. But everything else is just cool. And it just puts you in this weird, dark, something's going on. This is a bad times future. And I'm hoping that our main character can save the day. I don't know if he's gonna or what's gonna happen. But it just feels good. And it feels right. And the last thing I'll say is this game is so detailed. When you go into that city and there's crowds of people, it looks so amazing. The way the light plays off of the crowds and yourself, the shadows and the lighting and the this, the that, the way that speakers that are in the world, diegetically, you hear the music coming off of this TV that's in the foreground you can't even interact with it, but it's just some guy watching in the foreground. But when you get behind him, that's when you start hearing the TV come in. It's so good. There's so much more stuff I want to say. Like when you go to your menu is in the game. It's like your character holding up like his little 80s, 90s radio thing. And when you scroll in the menu, you see his thumb doing the scroll on the scroll wheel. And when you hit the buttons, he goes bloop, bloop, with his little finger in this beautiful pixel art. It's fucking amazing. It's so good. So if you want something action-packed and wild, you're not going to get this with this. But if you want like a unique kind of platforming and some beat 'em up and like a weird adventure type of a world, check this out. I'm not going to say it's like nothing else, but it has like a different feel than you would think. So go into it wanting some story, wanting some world building. If you're a total loser who can't go 5 minutes without hearing a gun go off and killing somebody in a game, you're not going to like it. But if you want something dark and weird and kind of heavy, but also really beautiful to look at, check out Replaced. So far, I really like it.
Yeah, it's a must play for me. Just depends on when the hell I get to it. So it's a no-brainer.
So now, friends, peeling back the curtain, and if I sound a little bit different, there's a reason for that. It's because Eric did have to leave and go deal with his flooding basement again. He was panicking, he was weirding out, he was flipping out. But you know what? You got me here. Who needs Eric when you've got me? Now, realistically, I know at least half of you have turned off the podcast because, if Eric's not here, I'm not going to be here. I know Mom has turned off the podcast because she likes Eric way more than she likes me, which is pretty freaking rude. I got to tell you that. But, I mean, facts is facts. What can you do about it? But I'm here to tell you about the free games that we got this week. If you go over to Epic, you got a game called The Stone of Madness, which is a weird looking, I'm doing due diligence literally on the show here as I record it. It's a weird looking isometric perspective tactical stealth kind of a game. It looks really interesting. I'm not sure if this would be for me, but I see screens where, you got health bars and you got action points and the isometric perspective. I see vision cones. I see all kinds of stuff. So a unique one there. Make sure you go pick that up on Epic Games. On the Game Pass, which is what I'm going to jump to next because there's something happening. There's something happening with the Amazon free games. So on the Game Pass, I'm going to tell you got some good games here. You got Tiny Bookshop, in which you're running, a tiny bookshop. You have The Thaumaturge, which is a game I wanted to talk about as a release for a number of weeks. It's a cool, like, Lovecrafty tactical RPG. I think you're moving units on a grid, kind of from an isometric perspective as well. like in that Lovecrafty type of a 1920s, 1930s, 1940s-ish time period. But I've heard it's really hard, which you would expect if it's Lovecraft at all. But that one looks interesting, so I'm glad to get it for free on the Game Pass. You also have one of my games of the year last year, Hades 2. It's finally come to Xbox and came straight to Game Pass. If you haven't played that and you have an Xbox or a PC and you have the Game Pass, play that game. That game's great. It's phenomenal. It's wonderful. If you played the crap out of Hades 1 and you're like, I don't know if I want more of that, you will like it in Hades 2. I'm telling you that much. And then you got Replaced, which I talked about as my release, and I teased that it was on the Game Pass, but it's on the Game Pass too. It launched into Game Pass. If you have Game Pass and a PC or an Xbox to play it on, play Replaced also. Then we're moving over to the Amazon free games of the week. First up, you got Snake Core, which looks kind of interesting. It's a 2D pixel art game, and it's basically Snake, the game Snake, the phone game Snake, the game you know from calculators and phones and probably LCD handheld gaming. But in this one, it's a spin on that because your pieces of your Snake are like space marines in the future. There's a weird galactic war going on, and you're snaking your space marine Snake around and blowing up buildings and aliens. So that's kind of a unique spin on something. Next up, you got Monster Harvest, which looks like a cross between Harvest Moon and Pokemon because the plants that you plant, I think they call them in the trailer that I literally just watched, they call them plantimals. So like you're breeding your Pokemon in the ground as plants, and then you pull them out, and then they're walking around behind you in this goofy little pixel art style. I mean, it looks cute. It's got mixed reviews on Steam, but I mean, it looks cute. And then, I can't believe you, Eric. You motherfucker. How could you leave me alone when finally Amazon free games comes through? Because you got Detective Agency Grey Tie Collector's Edition with a title like that. What else could it be? Hopa alert! Let's go! We finally got a Hopa after like 6 months of praying for one. Amazon free games finally comes through. Now, I will say, hang on, let me just go off right now for a second because I'm here, I'm alone, I can go as long as I want. What is legacy games? Like, if you get your Amazon free games, which you all should be doing, you already know this, they give you stuff on GOG and they give you stuff on Epic Game Store, and then legacy games and like some of the kids' games are on some other weird platform. That's weird. Does legacy games only make Hopas? I don't know. The developer and publisher of this is Avi Games. What's legacy games? Anyway, that's just something that I've been wondering about. I actually haven't redeemed any Hopas because I don't want to sign up for another account. I should probably cut that from the show because Hopas are a part of Third Shift lore as we've established in the Discord. Anyway, so those are the free games this week. And then it's time for the news. I'm going to start us off with some bad news. Bad news alert, bad news ahoy. 2 bad news pieces. First up, speaking of Amazon with the free games that I just talked about, Amazon is downscaling their Amazon Luna service, which is their cloud streaming service. Kind of like, was it OnLive? Is that the first one? Was it OnLive? Kind of like Stadia? But Luna, where you play your games on Amazon, they're downscaling that. But I read this, I believe, either on Game Developer or Gameatsu. Again, I can't remember which one. But they mentioned that and some more details that I'm going to go into in a second. But then they linked to an article from January where they said, yeah, the Amazon games had stepped down, but the new person is really reinvesting in their Luna service. And now 3 months later, they're apparently divesting themselves of the Luna service. And so I have a number of questions about this, but I will tell you first off, it says downscaling the service, but it sounds like they're turning it off because any titles you have purchased via Amazon Luna, which I don't know how you purchase a cloud streaming title, but this ties into my question for later, those will be completely unplayable and inoperable as of June 10th. And you will not get refunds for anything you've ever bought on Amazon Luna, apparently. First off, that sucks, because if you bought something, you should be able to play it forever. We've said that forever, and everybody has said that forever. But my question for that is, the Amazon free games used to go on like Prime Gaming, I think was the website, because that's what I would Google. It would be like, hey, Amazon Prime Gaming. It was Twitch Prime Gaming and then Prime Gaming. And now if you look for Amazon free games, it comes via Amazon Luna. Even though these are codes for things you redeem on GOG and Epic Game Store and Legacy Games, as we've already established, the page is the Amazon Luna games page. So does that mean we won't get any more free games? Even though they're just codes that you redeem elsewhere and they're not on the Luna service? That's my question. because I was kind of weirded out when it went, hey, come to Amazon Luna for your codes, but it still worked like it always has. Is that going away? I hope not, because that's one thing I like about, Amazon Prime and Twitch Prime and all that other stuff is you get these free games that, honestly, am I ever going to play all these? No, but I have played some. No, yeah, I got Stray Gods from that, and I played that and I loved it. I've downloaded Shogun Showdown from that, which awesome game. Go check that out. But yeah, I'm wondering if that goes away with Amazon Luna going away too. We've never really been into the cloud streaming, either Eric or I. But like I talked about a few weeks ago, I had heard on All Elite Arcade that Chugs was having a really good time with the NVIDIA game streaming thing that he does. So I don't know, maybe it was pretty good, but it's going away now. So bad news if you're an Amazon Luna gamer. And then the other bad news, hey, if you are a VR gamer, or no, not if you're a VR gamer currently, but if you wanted to get into VR gaming and you wanted to get yourself a MetaQuest 3, guess what? Guess frickin' what? Prices are going up. Could you imagine prices going up on a gaming thing? From what I saw, it looked like the base model going up $50, the high-end model going up $100, the mid-tier model going up some number of bucks. I didn't really pay attention to that one because who cares about the middle when you want to know the base and the big dog? But yeah, sounds like they were following the Xbox and the PlayStation leads. Got to raise our prices. Hey, PlayStation did it and they didn't get dumped in the bucket in the mud. We'll do it too. Hey, cool. So yeah, if you were looking for a MetaQuest 3, I don't know if this is active right now. Let me pull up the article. It's from Game Informer. That's effective this Sunday, April 19th. So if you're listening to me and you have a really fast trigger finger for the Amazon, put this in my cart and buy it right now, you can still get it for the old price of $300 or $500. After that rolls over, it'll be $350 and $600. And for that middle one is only going up $50. So if you wanted to get on a MetaQuest 3, get in real quick before the prices go up. And then, hey, what's this guy doing in my news segment? What are you doing? Yeah.
Well, I'm back, everybody, for a brief second. Actually, that's not true. I'm actually still here, but we're cutting the show and doing a little part right now because Matt don't care about this title or this series, really. And I do, but the floods, they're going nuts, and I'm stressing out watching this happen right now on live time happening now. I don't like it. So, yes, Wild Arms 4 is being added to the PlayStation Premium. In that, in and of itself, I don't really care too much about. I don't have Premium, I only have Extra. But they did put 1, 2, and 3 on there as well. And when they did that, they allowed you to buy that in a la carte. So I imagine you're going to be able to get Wild Arms 4 a la carte. Now, why this matters? Well, I loved Wild Arms 1, 2, and 3. Played them extensively a long time ago. Awesome RPGs. Wish they'd never ended. But then Wild Arms 4 came out and I totally just didn't play it. Forgot all about it. Moved on to whatever the hell I was doing at the time. Doesn't matter. Now's my opportunity. I can buy this little bad boy a la carte and play it. Or say I'm going to play it, but just like Lunar Silver Star Story and the Final Fantasy old games, I'll play like 2 hours of it and then I'll never get back to it. But I can do that. And I'm excited about it. And I'm also excited because the interest, it might just be just got a good deal with the developer, but I'm really hoping that maybe there's like an interest there, and maybe we'll see a brand new Wild Arms in the future, especially with, as I always say, the success of RPGs now. Why not? Which leads me on to something Matt would be mad about. But, it's neither here nor there. And then it got me thinking. I said, you know what? The Wild Arms creator himself was supposed to be working on a freaking RPG inspired by, of course, his original title in the Wild Arms series.
Looking exactly like it almost, yeah.
Yeah. Armed Fantasia to the End of the Wilderness. That was supposed to come out like this year, last year or something. And I went and looked, and sure enough, it's been delayed to an unknown, unannounced time.
Okay, well, 2 things on this announcement. One, I really enjoyed Wild Arms 1, so you saying I hate the series, it's kind of...
Oh, no, I don't mean you hate it. I just said I don't think you were super interested in it.
Pretty much, yes. I remember playing it a lot back in the day, like originally, and then years later tried to go back and play it again, but those 3D models in the battle, it's just... It ain't happening.
Yeah, they are
anymore.
terrible, aren't they? But the music, man.
I know.
Oh,
I would just sit there and just play the intro thing, like the intro anime cutscene for like forever.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So I always want to get 1, 2, 3, and 4. I heard 4 was like a really good one, so this is a good thing. And then just like you said, with Armed Fantasia, I almost lost it, but I remembered it. That's a game I kickstarted because it was that and Penny Blood, which is from the Shadow Hearts creator. It was like a 2-game Kickstarter thing. And I followed their updates like all the time, and then I don't know if I just turned them all off or if they only update like once every 3 months now. But yeah, that's both of those games have been delayed until an infinite number of question marks. And I hadn't even thought about that one in like 6 months. And now it makes me sad because I wanted Arn Fantasia, but I also wanted Pennyblood the most because that was Shadow Hearts, which is way higher on my list, but they're both there. And I'm double sad again. Thanks for coming in from the future, from the past, asshole, to make me sad in this segment, wherever I put it in the show.
Well, I got to do it. And that's wherever you want to put it. And I'll also just say real quick, just in case you don't cover it too much, is that via Pushquare and Jez Corden of Windows Central, Microsoft heads apparently, Matt, they're talking. They're in big meetings. They're talking. And they are thinking about making Xbox games exclusive again. And there might be a big shift, of course, with a new leadership change. And that's a no-brainer, no duh. Leadership comes in, a new plan gets devised. Apparently, and obviously what was happening was not working and stuff was kind of going downhill. I don't know. I'm sad a little bit because I'm mostly PlayStation myself. So if Xbox does go exclusive back to Xbox, I might miss out on some cool games unless I fork over the cash for, the premium play at PC. But you listeners, what does Eric do every time he plays a PC game? He quits. He gives up. He never finishes. He never does. He's a loser. He lost his PC shine. I used to PC game all the time. I don't know. What the hell happened? It's just weird. So I don't have too big of an opinion on it. I just want to make sure it got brought up since it was something I put in the show notes. And I know Matt's got a bigger stake in the game, so maybe he can, flourish and talk about it and tie it into his other subject or whatever he wants to do. I don't know.
Well, I don't have much to say on it other than the things about games exclusivity we've always said. Put it everywhere. That's better for all the customers, but being exclusive is maybe better for you right now, Microsoft. But I want to tie it into my thing that's right after that because I don't have much else to say on it. Because via Game Developer and The Verge, via a leaked internal memo, the new Xbox head person, they kept saying the Xbox chief, but that sounds like weird-ass wording to me. So I'm just going to say Xbox head person, which is also weird, said Game Pass has become, quote fingers, too expensive for players and needs, quote fingers, a better value equation around it. I agree. We've said before, Game Pass is probably still the best deal in gaming, but it's half of a game right now. And granted, if you play a lot of Xbox Game Pass games, specifically from there, it's still a great deal, but it just keeps ramping up. Mm-hmm. And there was that rumor about Netflix and Xbox getting together. Maybe that's what they'll do. Put it in there, but then also still only charge whatever it is, $40, $30, whatever it is. I agree with that. So two things that are maybe getting stirred up and shifted up over there at Xbox and Microsoft.
Yeah, they definitely need to revamp something because they've been on the downcline big time.
Yeah.
And I was stoked about Game Pass. I was subscribed to that thing when I barely even played anything on it because it was just so cheap. I was like, well, you might as well just have it in your back pocket in case something hits. Mm-hmm. But I had to go, oh God, never mind. It's so they did. They lost a lot of people just like me who were like, well, it's so cheap, it's not that big of a deal. I just have it in my back pocket. But then it went, no, I can't just have this in my back pocket. It's a big fat rock now, and it hurts my butt when I sit down. So I'm going to take it out.
It's like if you sign up for Planet Fitness at only $15 a month. Okay, if you didn't go, it says $15. But if you sign up for your local gym and it's $30, $40 a month, you better get your butt going there. You better make it work.
You either go or you get off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that was what happened with the Xbox Game Pass. And so, like you said, man, they got two things happening, two big discussions, big shifts for Xbox. So we'll see where the coins lie. What's the saying, Matt? Where the pennies lie? What lies? Where the
chips fall where they may?
Where the chips fall. That's what it is. Chips. Yeah, like that, the saying right there.
And look at him run. Look at him run when he heard that the very first thing that I put in the news segment, the very first thing was, hey, where's that state of play, you loser? Because Eric came on here and said, via some magical leaker man that I've never heard of in my entire life, and none of you know either, there was definitely going to be a state of play today as we're recording this. Where's the state of play at? It's not here. He was lying. Everybody was lying. Because I was so mad about that, and Eric got scared that I was going to call him on his BS, and he ran off to, quote fingers, deal with a flooding basement, I'll tell you something that I didn't have a chance to talk about because I forgot that it was going to happen. I believe a number of weeks ago, I let you guys know that the III Initiative had set a date for their III Initiative 2026 showcase thing. It's literally just called III Initiative 2026. That was going to happen at some date in the future. Guess what? It happened last week. So I went and watched it last night and today at lunch. And I will say, it was pretty good. If you want to see a bunch of new indie games coming up, definitely check this out. And if you want to see a little bit more on some indie games that have been announced and you maybe get to see a gameplay reveal for it, definitely check this out too, because I feel like the showcase started off real strong and then it kind of got into a lot of games that I had definitely seen before. So I'm not sure if I saw them last year or I've seen them in other showcases leading up to this, and this was just a little bit more of those. But it started off so strong, like I said, with Prove You're Human by the same people who did 1000X Resist a couple years ago. And this is all about you, I think you, like a human character, talking to this AI that believes it's a human. The most striking image from this trailer and from the game itself, and that people have used on all their articles about it, it's like a human face, but the backside of it, it's all cables and wires, and it's like this giant face. So you're talking and interacting with this computer, this whatever it is, that believes it's human. And I mean, that alone, the visuals are really pretty striking. But I read an article about this when it first went off and was kind of making the rounds last week sometime. And the developer said the main interaction of the game is going to be solving CAPTCHAs. Like when you go on a website and it says find all the buses, click on every image that's a bus or a bike or a traffic light. It's going to be solving those will be the main way you interact with the game. And I went, you can't see the puzzled look I have on my face. Two sides of my mind said, A, that's boring as hell. I hate doing that on a website. Usually if the bus thing comes up and it's not 100% bus, I back out. But B, with this developer who did something really cool and unique and interesting with 1000X Resist, what's that going to look like and what's that going to mean? And you get to see some of that in this trailer. Like the way the CAPTCHAs come up, it's like Tom Cruise in Minority Report. You see the character kind of go like, whoop, bam, the CAPTCHA's there. And there's like a quick select and then the CAPTCHA like bursts into flames when you identify something in a couple of the clips. And then I could feel it, I could smell it. In some of the later ones, choose all the squares that identify yourself. And in the picture, there's like 3 different people. And I went, oh, here's where it's going to get interesting. Things that identify you or the things that you identify with are what you're going to have to choose. And maybe I don't know if you're playing from the computer perspective or the human character that you do see in here. If you're playing from that person's perspective, do the perspective switch? Are you really the computer and the other? I don't know. The other really cool thing about this trailer is you see some FMV stuff in here with a real ass person. And that was also making the round in those articles talking about FMV was going to be a big part of this game. So I'm really interested in this. Just from a weird, strange place. Does it seem like, like a Mario game that everybody's going to get into? No. But this seems really unique and weird. This looks like a Matt game, 100%. So great way to kick off the showcase. Prove You're Human. Everybody go check that out. Just check out the trailer. If it's not for you, cool, but that means you at least watch something really weird and interesting. And I like that. I like making you listeners do that. Another game that stood out for me, complete total other end of the spectrum, Shift at Midnight. This is, as Eric would say, and I would 100% agree with him, this is one of them streamer games. You go on stream and you go, wow, with your friends and you have a wacky time. And that's what the trailer shows. But this is a game all about you working at this weird-ass grocery store, and people come in to buy things, but they might not be humans. They might be, I can't remember what I called them, like doppelgangers or like aliens that have taken over the humans. So like they provide you with some details about themselves, and then you go to your computer and you analyze those details in a papers, please type of a style, and you see if you approve their transaction or not. And, you can kick people out, or I think you can actually fight them, shoot them, and then they turn into chunks of meat, and then you got to clean up the store. So it's like that game. Oh, what was that game? No, I'm Not a Human, where doppelgangers and you have to shoot them or not, or you let them in or not. That's kind of the store. Like they come in the store, you got to kill them or let them go or let them buy an item and then leave. And then based on how you did that night, how many doppelgangers got in and away, weird aliens come at the end of the night and you have to fight them like in a weird first-person shooter style. This is a mashup of a million different indie games and a million different ideas. But something about this just like made me chuckle and made me go, man, in Papers, Please, there are obviously consequences for doing poorly or doing well. But like, this is like a real consequence because you gotta go get that person. You gotta go shoot them, and then you gotta clean up the store so more people can come in. And if you do a bad job, then big aliens come in. Like these weird spider-looking things are like trashing the whole store and like throwing you all around. I don't know. This looked like a weird-ass streamer game. Like I said, the graphics aren't that great. The trailer is people going, oh my God, wah! but there's something about it. I don't know. I like this one. This one makes me smile. Then on another complete other end of the spectrum, we got Dead as Disco. I think I've seen little mini trailers for this or like a reveal for this before, but this sold me. Maybe I didn't know what this was about before, or we just got like the title and like, here's an idea of what it might look like, blah. But this showed that it was like a beat 'em up, but set to music, like a rhythm game beat 'em up. I think one of the little text box things said, "It's all to the beat." And I went, ooh, baby, beating people up to the beat. And then it said you could bring in your own music. But if like all the attacks go to the beat, how does that work? Does it analyze the beats per minute of your song and then slow and strong attacks or fast and weak attacks depending on the BPM of the song? I don't know. But this looked colorful and musical and just not silly like in a kind of a way, but just kind of fun and cheerful and bright, even though you're beating people up and kicking them in the face. This one got on my radar real hard. Dead as Disco. I want to play this. Then, in another tonal shift, we go from a 3D, very colorful, action-heavy beat-em-up with music and all this craziness to Alabaster Dawn, which caught me off guard with its beautiful pixel art. And I sat up and I took notice, and I went, this looks like something else. And then I went from the creators of Crosscode. And I went, oh, that's that other beautiful pixel art indie game. Well, that one I know takes place in a virtual world, like an MMO. People really love that one. And it looks like an Alabaster Dawn. It looked like sort of the same type of a battle system, because it's kind of an isometric quote finger shooter. It's not a twin stick shooter or anything like that. But it's an RPG because you have stats, you got numbers, you got health bars. But I think you do more like angle your shots and that type of a thing in this. But I love the art style. It looks so good, like some nice crisp pixel art, very colorful, very cool. Like I said, I know people loved Crosscode, and I still haven't got a chance to play it myself. So here's the next one from that studio, and it looks like, I'm not going to say more of the same, but it looks like more awesome pixel art and a fun combat style. I don't know if it's in the same world or not. I have no idea about the story or anything, but it looks really cool. Then the last one, I don't know why this one thrilled me so much. I mean, I guess I could say the same thing about Shift at Midnight, but Final Sentence. I can't remember if this was the one by the people who made Buckshot Roulette or not, but this is like Squid Game or some other kind of versus 99 type of a game. But the trailer shows, and it's kind of like low poly graphics, not anything super detailed. It shows people sitting at typewriters at desks and people standing over them with a gun. As soon as they make a typo, as they're trying to type out the stuff on the typewriter, dude pulls out the gun and blows them away. But there's like a whole room of them. And then it gets cut down and cut down and cut down. Then there's like a circle of like 12 of them. And they're typing away. And the things you're typing are like meme material, like Leroy Jenkins or All Your Base Belong to Us, or some other things that you would recognize from video games or movies or internet culture. And I don't know if it was just the way the trailer was cut together, but this had like a wacky kind of an energy. And I was just like, what a unique gameplay mechanic. Because obviously, like outside of just the typing, you could get skills and equipment that would help you do better. There were some typing scenes where certain letters had red on them. So maybe you had to capitalize those letters or not. Or maybe those letters didn't count. So if you typoed, when you're typing Leroy, it was like the R would be red. Maybe it didn't matter. You could type like Leoy. I don't know what that meant, but there were upgrades you could get. And there's just something about that being the interface. Like it's not, some action game thing. It's not just stat based. It's you typing. There's something about that I love. And I don't know why, but there's something about that. Like I'm not a typist. I'm not a home row guy. I hunt and peck, but not like in the 2-finger thing like you think. My typing is like all scrambled, but it's fast. So maybe that's what it is. It's just like playing a versus 99 type of a game where you have to type well and fast. I probably will be terrible at this. I probably will never win a game if this is a versus 99 type of thing, or if that's just like the set dressing. But something about this trailer made me laugh. It made me smile. It made me interested. So outside of that, there are like a million games in the showcase, in the III Initiative 2026. And I will say the presentation, it's fast, it's fluid. There's a bunch of little breaks in there where they just come in with text and it says, we're the III Initiative 2026. There's no hosts, there's no ads, there's just games. Let's get back to it. It goes fast, it goes smooth, There's no like, oh boy, here's the host segment where everybody's doing a dorky joke. Oh, here's the host segment, but it's an ad for Uber Eats in your McDonald's tonight. Bah, 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 bah. No, it's great. It's smooth, it's fast, it's an easy watch. There's tons of stuff in there. I was gonna write it down and I forgot the title. That Harvest Moon game that's really dark, set in like a weird dark environment that looks like Cthulhu enhanced, and the cutscenes are the most beautiful pixel art you've ever seen in your life, and the animation in those is phenomenal too. That game was in here. I didn't write it down because it wasn't brand new and I had so many other games to watch, but that game gets shown off more in here too. There's tons of games, like I said, that have been revealed, but they showed off more. There's tons of world premieres in here. If you have any interest in very unique indie games, check out III Initiative 2026. I can't say it enough. It was a fast, easy, fun watch. It was super fun. And there's like a post show where if you want to know even more about some of these games, like, what is it, Belmont's Revenge, they showed off that and they said, hey, there's more in the post show. There's more info on at least like 10 different games. So go check it out. If you click on it and you see like 2 hours, it's like an hour of bam, 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 bam reveals, and then another hour of deep dives on some of those. In the description, all the time codes are there. So you can jump around as much as you want. I recommend it. I am glad that I found out that it happened so I could talk about it, because I would have been doing us and you and everybody a disservice if I didn't. So yeah, there we go. That's my big newsy segment. So sorry, it was kind of a chippy choppy show. You guys know why that was. There's a few things I wanted to talk about a little bit more, but I think we'll call it here for now. And I'm going to get a lasso. I'm going to lasso through time and rope Eric back in here for a final segment. Get in here, Eric, because I won't let the show end without Uncle Matt's Trivia Corner. And right before he's kicking and screaming, he's like getting dragged through the hall right now. He's getting dragged up his basement stairs. So I'll tell you that last week's question before he gets here was, in the 2015 horror game Until Dawn, which actor provides the voice and motion capture for Dr. Hill? That, of course, is the great Peter Stormare. And I know Eric's itching. He's wiggling in his chair right now, but I am roping him back in. He's been gone for a couple segments, but he can't go away for Uncle Matt's Trivia Corner.
I'm over here like rocking in my chair. I'm like, oh, God.
Because this is an easy one, so I want to see if you're so stressed you don't even get this one.
Oh.
But the question for this week is, if you get this wrong, I'm going to blow my brains out.
Stop it.
First appearing in the 1986 game Castlevania, player character Simon Belmont is usually seen wielding which type of weapon named the Vampire Killer?
It's a...
You did it! Hooray!
Hey!
Amazing! Even water swamped Eric. I can see the water just like creeping up his shirt. Even he can't get it wrong.
The mudmen are going to get me. They're going to come out of the water. It's going to be just like the Castlevania. The merman.
Exactly. Now, I do have to keep you around for one more thing, because I was watching a Castlevania complete series retrospective using up my last day of YouTube Premium before it goes ad fucking crazy on me. What is the name of Dracula's castle? Does it have a name? Is it just Dracula's castle? What is it called?
It's just Dracula's castle.
Exactly. That's what I said the whole time. In this video, the guy kept saying, Dracula's castle, a.k.a. Castlevania. It's called Castlevania. His castle is named Castlevania. And I shook my head at my iPad and went, that's not true.
No, it's Dracula's castle.
Just before the show, I looked up, what is Dracula's castle called in Castlevania? It said, Dracula's castle, a.k.a. Castlevania. And I went, is this a parallel fucking reality that we both, the two of us, have launched into now?
No, this is that shit where, like, many years after the fucking the lore is established, somebody came along and just said, "Oh, actually, here's what." Yeah,
Castlevania.
That's exactly what it is. Because originally it was Dracula's castle. That's it.
That's the Japanese name of some of them.
Yes.
It's like Dracula's Castle: The Wacky Adventure, or whatever the subtitle is. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, that's some retro shit. That's what it is. That's all it is.
Good. I'm glad I'm not
Retro
insane. I'm glad everyone else is insane.
They're just crazy. Let's rename the thing because that's fun. Stupid asses.
And with that out of the way, it falls on me to say, if you know the answer to that question, or if you have any other questions for us, comments, concerns, mailbag questions, if you'd just like to say hi, send that to us via the email, thirdshiftme@gmail.com, on the Twitter machine @ThirdShiftME. Find us on Facebook under Third Shift. Hit up the Discord. Hit up the Patreon. If I'm streaming, hit up a stream. if I'm walking on the street, come and slap me on the back and be like, hey, brother, it sure is nice not to own your own house and to like rent an apartment and not even have to worry about a flooded basement. I can't even go in the basement. The door's locked. There's 2 locked doors in the way. I couldn't even get down there if I wanted to. And if they flooded, it ain't my problem. It's a beautiful thing. And then it falls to Eric to say, I don't know what Eric says. What does he say here? Hey, boys and girls, go check out those things. Go do those things that Matt said. Hey, we'd love to see you in the Discord. We'd love to have a little chittity chat with us. Hey, even, you know what? In the general channel, go drop in what you've been doing this weekend. I'm going to drop in something this weekend. Spoiler alert. I'm going to drop in a picture of myself at an event. How about that? You're going to enjoy it. You're going to love it. I don't know if you will. It'll be a picture of me. Nobody enjoys that. Anyway, he'll also say, if you don't want to do that, go on over to the Patreon. We treat it like a tip jar. $1, $3, $5, $1 million. You can drop in a number of dollars in there. Or, you don't have to, but if you do drop some in there, you get some bonus stuff. You get some blooper reels, like old blooper reels, because we're professionals now. We don't screw anything up anymore. For the $1 tier, for the $3 tier, you get in on the What You Playing, where we talk a little more in-depth, a little more spoilery sometimes about what we've been playing over the month. For the $5 tier, you get the Shifter Monthly topic, one new topic, or a multitude of topics, depending on how the show goes, every single month. And above that, we got a special tier that nobody actually cashes in the bonus on, but we can do that. We can make that happen if you want to do that. You could actually co-host one show with us. If you want to hang out with some weirdos, oh boy. Or if you don't want to do any of that, just, hey, go give us, I'm going to jump in back into Matt mode. Go give us a like, a rating, a review, a comment, a subscription. Any kind of good thing on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Podbean, on Spotify, and on YouTube, because the next episode will be dropping on or around, it might be early next week, the 21st of April, anywhere between the 21st and the 23rd. That's when the next episode will be dropping, because I got a busy week, so we're going to record early. We're going to get a mailbag question episode out to you guys. How about that? How about that action? Person who sent in that mailbag question, you're going to get it. You're going to see it. You're going to love it. And well, then what does Eric say? He says something about, I don't know. I don't know. I can't remember anything that Eric said. So until next time, after I have butchered the outro because Eric wasn't here to do it, there's nothing else to say but.
Yeah, and you hang on before he even says that. He's gonna butcher it. He is. And he's not going to tell you about them 5-star reviews. He's not going to tell you. My house is flooding, and if you can't get those freaking 5-star reviews to me, I'm going to die. I'm going to drown, and I won't be here. So get them. I need 5 stars like Kirby, motherfuckers, to fly me out of this damn basement so I can survive. All right? All right? And with that.
Wait. Hang on. You do need 5 stars. So that's you, the wife, the 2 kids,
yep.
and the dogs on one.
And the dogs can share one. Yep.
Perfect.
And hopefully we get shot down by that fat idiot, whatever his bad Eggman or whatever he is.
King DDD?
That's
Now you went Sonic.
Sonic's coming through.
Eggman. Jesus Christ. So then, we said it already. Now it's really time. There's nothing else to say, but...
Don't forget
to say...
Shut up and sit down.